everybody. I think we've been live for about 5 minutes. Have we been live the whole time? And you guys heard of us talking about New York and don't hear us from Staten Island. Shit. Hey, everybody. I forgot it rolled over after.
Oh, man.
Okay. Hey, everybody. Can you hear us? Can you give me a thumbs up if you've been listening to us for the last 4 minutes? Bad mouth.
Trash talking Staten Island and yeah.
Yes, we can hear you. Thank you, Adam. Sorry, guys, we got carried away. I forgot that we went live at 6:30.
Nice. Good.
Right. Hey, everybody, I'm Richie. This is Wild in the Galley. This is Grace.
Yeah, I'm Grace. Hi, guys. I'm the culinary director here.
This is a really special night because
Yeah.
you're the culinary. You're coming to us. You're coming to this kitchen finally, and we're gonna be able to cook together.
Yeah, I'm very excited about it.
We've been talking about it.
Yeah, for a long time. Thank you for having me. I'm really psyched.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we made some drinks. We made some Gravlax, which are hiding behind this fridge. I'll give you a little sneak peek. So we have 4 different cures of Gravlax in there that we're going to be talking about.
But right now we're drinking a St. Newt's.
Right now we're drinking a St. Newt's. So cheers.
Good. Cheers. Cheers to y'all.
Out there as well, if you guys are drinking this or beer, whatever might have you. So let's see. I wanna make sure. Yep, everybody sees us. Cool. We have a big group of folks, and we have a really special group of folks because we have our friends from Opinel that are here as well. So welcome to the family. Yes, thank you for the beautiful knives.
Awesome.
And thanks for this great partnership. So if you're visiting from Opinel, welcome to Sitka Salmon Shares. Welcome to Wild in the Galley. This is the class that we put on for all of our members, and it's just a really fun way to dive into some of our recipes, some of our favorite foods and seafoods, and dissect them and learn more about them and break them down. So you guys are in good company. If you want to learn more about what we do, you can go to sitkasalmonshares.com. We'll probably talk about it more as the class goes on. Generally, this class is going to be kind of a lot of fun, and just we're going to break down stuff. We're going to demo different ways to make Gravlax, and we're going to talk about what the heck Gravlax is. In fact, I can probably, what are we doing here? I can throw up these. So these are like the 5 things we're going to try to get to today. But if you have questions, if you have comments, if you're not already doing it, just drop them in the live chat. We have Cam, our social media manager, and we have John Clark, our member programming director. He is in the chat as well, and so they're going to be able to answer any questions that you might have. And then Grace, and I might fumble a few, but Grace is going to answer a lot of questions too. We're going to bring those into the class, so ask away anything that comes to mind. Now, I do want to give you like a quick disclosure. If you don't have YouTube or Google, then you won't probably be able to interact with the live chat. That's okay. You can still just email any questions to us at this email address right here. Drop them into cookingclass@sitkasalmonshares.com, and then myself and the rest of the culinary team will get that at them eventually in the next week or so.
Right.
We'll get you an answer no matter what. So that's kind of the housekeeping stuff. Let's kind of talk about what the heck we're going to do today.
Yeah, for sure.
I'll take these off here. There we go.
Cool.
So it's Gravlax.
Gravlax. I say Gravlax. You
I say Gravadlix.
Gravadlix.
Or Grividlax, or any numeration of that. But it's...
And both are correct.
Yes, there's
both
no right or wrong, right?
Well, there's obviously right or wrong, but
Gravadlix
is Norwegian, right?
Right.
And so Gravlax is like everywhere else, right? Ubiquitous.
Right.
So that's what I know as Gravlax. And so, being of Norwegian descent, why don't you tell everybody like how you came to Gravlax or Gravlax?
So Gravlax to me. So I grew up in a very Danish family, and we had lots of
Danish. Sorry.
It's okay. I let it slide.
Sorry.
My mom's watching. She'll probably be upset with you.
Sorry,
Very
Mom.
Danish. And but we grew up like with lots of different fishes. But I didn't start exploring what Gravlax was really until maybe I was in college or so. But it reminded me of my childhood. It reminded me of pickled fishes and fermented fishes. It reminded me of smoked fishes, and kind of all together. And so, Gravlax to me is just this like really simple and maybe understated food. Like I just think it's great. And what about you? Like where did you get introduced to this really cool fish?
Well, you know, I was not a stranger to smoked salmon or Nova or lox growing up, but Gravlax was something that was really mysterious because lox was always something that somebody else did, right? But Gravlax, I was working, this was back when I was working at Food and Wine Magazine. We were working, I was working on a story with an up-and-comer, a Swedish chef called Marcus Samuelsson. I'm sure a lot of you will
probably
know
who that is, maybe, yeah.
He's like, but this was back when he was kind of like a baby and just had joined the restaurant Aquavit. And so that was actually the first time I had ever had Gravlax. And it was sort of a transformative moment because it's so simple, right? But it seems so fancy.
Right.
And it seems so like out of my realm of reality, right? Because I grew up Italian and, you know, in a Jewish neighborhood, so lox was always like the thing. But like the things that Marcus Samuelsson had taught me was that really it's 4 ingredients, right? Fish, great fish, right?
Great fish.
We've got that.
Great fish.
Right? Salt, sugar, and some sort of aromatic.
Right.
Boom, that's it. And then a little bit of time.
Yep.
A little bit of time.
Yep.
So once I learned that, it was like, wow, I could make this myself.
Right. Yeah,
right?
you don't need to go to the famous Jewish deli and get lox.
Yeah.
I mean, that's great and amazing too, but you can have that satiation
Yep.
in your home and it's really quick to do. 24 hours, you can push it to 48 hours if you want. It's kind of up to your personal preference, right? And that's the beauty of Gravlax.
And it's the similar texture, right? So it's all about the texture and the, like, you know, it's sort of a different animal, or a different preparation, but it's still that same delicious texture, really silky, beautiful.
Yes.
So that was my foray, and once I learned, it was like, oh, I was making Gravlax all the time.
Yeah, I know we eat
amazing.
a lot of Gravlax here, and
Yeah.
I ate most of them. So when we have some things that we're going to, with a couple different ways to do that, we kind of maybe our personal favorites. At least for me, I really like the traditional dill, and then I make a nice little like mustard cream sauce to go with it. So we're gonna kind of highlight a couple of those, and then we have a great recipe that you made with beets and horseradish.
We actually have a couple of some really nice Gravlax recipes on our website. So I definitely encourage you guys to look at them. They're super simple, really easy to do. One is a beet Gravlax. Yours is a traditional Gravlax.
Yeah.
And then there's another one that I did with an Aquavit cured Gravlax.
Really.
Which is really super simple and very, very they're both really classic. Yeah. Right?
We had a question too from Ann. Lox and Gravlax. What's the difference?
Hi, Ann.
What's the difference between lox and Gravlax?
Well, okay, both are salmon. Both are cured with a salt, sugar, brine, or dry rub, but lox is cold smoked. So once you can actually cold smoke the Gravlax that you've made, that will become lox.
Right. Yep. So really, the smoking is the big difference between those two.
But it's cold smoking.
Right.
So you're gonna have that same texture. It's not. It's like it's an infusion of cold smoke in an enclosed space.
Right.
Right.
Yep. And Gravlax, by definition, like the old historic way that they made Gravlax before refrigeration was burying it. So Grav, grave, and then lox, salmon. So salmon buried in the dirt. And so they would cover it, of course, and usually covering with like pine or if they had dill, I suppose, in their garden, but some strong aromatic. And then that would be buried under the ground with a little bit of pressure, which kind of affects the texture too. So you can mimic all those things in your own kitchen if you wanted to.
Yeah. I mean, thankfully we have refrigeration now. So hello, thank you. No more microbes and bacteria and whatnot.
Right.
So we live to eat another Gravlax.
Let's eat some. So we have 3 fillets of coho tail, and just really briefly. So if you're new to Sitka salmon shares, you know what? I would, if you're looking for like an incredible traceable source to your fish, this might be your ticket. If you've been wandering around looking, where do I find the best fish? You've gone to all the markets, you've gone to all the farmers markets, you can't find it. Sitka Salmon Shares, everything is transparent. We connect you directly with our fishermen, some of which are owners of our own company. All hook and line, so it's low impact gear and it's taken care of in the most beautiful way, which is really, when you're dealing with like a lox or like ceviche, any of these like kind of semi-raw or cured preparations, the quality of your fish really matters.
Yep, and
right?
the quality from line to us, right?
Right.
Like that blast freezing, it really keeps the texture of the fish really in the integrity
Right.
really strong. So
Right. And that's what we
Yeah.
do, right? So what should we do? What do you think?
Well, I like to talk a little about what actually salt and sugar cures do
Great.
for the fish, right?
Yeah.
So salt has been around. People have been curing fish and proteins for millennia, right?
Yeah.
So salt, you're worth your weight in salt. That's like because salt was a commodity, so long ago, and it was really an important in the trade, right? So people have been curing for a long time. So what we're going to do is show you how to cure these fish. But first, salt and sugar, right? Those are the two components, right?
It's the easiest thing.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Salt and sugar are both humectants, right? Which means that they draw the moisture out of whatever it is that they come in contact with. And one thing that does, it sort of inhibits microbial growth.
Yep.
So you can cure your salmon, and you can hold it for a couple of days, like 4 or 5 days. Right. Otherwise, if you had raw salmon in the fridge with a little bit of sprinkling of herbs and whatnot, it would go bad.
It declines really quickly.
Right?
Yeah.
So the salt and the sugar draws the moisture out while infusing the flavor, making it really beautiful and silky and easy to slice.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
So, I mean, you know that.
And that's where you can kind of start playing around with your spices. So if you're pulling out that moisture and you what do you want to put in it? Like, what's your choice? What do you like? Do you like fennel? Do you like dill? Like, what kind of fun things do you want to put in that? And we had some great spice. Those of you that got our Gravlax kit that Grace put together, you got these 3 different spice rubs, right?
Yeah.
And these are awesome. These are from LeMaster Family Kitchen. Really great guy. Sean hooked us up with these, and they're just wonderful. But these are just an example of 3 things that you could do. 3 of countless things.
So the proportions, though, so you can make these at home for yourself. If you haven't been able to get this kit, not to worry. I mean, you can find all of this information online on our website. But one of the great things is that you can make these yourself, right? You were talking about the different spice blends.
Yeah.
But I like equal parts salt and sugar.
As do I.
Right?
I think it's a nice way to like start off, and like if you want to meander off and get more sugar and more salt.
Right. I mean, it all depends on what your personal flavor, your personal taste is. Like I tend to like things really sort of neutral.
Yeah.
If you like it more salty, you can skew to like 1.5 times salt to 1 time sugar, or the other way around. But what we've got here is pink peppercorn and dill seeds, juniper berry, which is one of the most classic. Right? This is a super classic.
That's my favorite one.
Yeah, I love it.
LeMaster put together, yeah.
And then sort of a simple pickling spice, right?
Yeah.
You can just dig through your spice drawer and find whatever flavorings that you like. Cumin is great. Caraway seeds are great.
I like a little clove, like
seed?
During the fall season. A little clove and fennel is really nice.
You like
together.
little warm, like pumpkin spice.
Feel really, like
so you can have your little pumpkin spice latte.
I do. You caught me.
So
I am a
you're basic
patron of the Starbucks. I'm not.
No.
It's not. Definitely not. We have a question though from Pat.
Yeah. Hi, Pat.
How long is the process? I think from beginning to end is what she meant. Yeah.
That's a good question. It depends on your texture and the texture that you like and the flavor that you like. The longer you go, the drier and the more firm the texture is going to be and the more infused with flavor it's going to be. I find the sweet spot, like 24 hours?
I like 24 to pushing to 36 sometimes, yeah. And that's what we have some examples of in the fridge. And then what type of salt from Kay? She wondered what type of salt, if it matters.
What do you like? I like sea salt.
Yeah, I do. And, you know, I use like a big crystal, like a diamond crystal or whatever you got in your cupboard. There comes a point.
That's kosher too. I mean, you can use kosher as well.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
I think iodized salt, like table salt, has a tendency to have a little bit of a like a metallic flavor. So you want a salt that's as neutral as possible. So sea salt is great. Kosher salt. Yeah. Those are my favorites.
I think just go nuts with those. Yeah. And there comes a point too where it doesn't matter the amount of salt or sugar you put on it. Like it's going to kind of just. I mean, you could probably describe this better than I could. Like it kind of just stops the osmosis process, right? And you can pile a whole bucket of salt on there. You'd waste the salt, but it's not going to affect. The timing is more important, I guess, in that situation.
Yeah,
right?
exactly, exactly. Yeah, you're absolutely right. So one of the questions is, right? We get a lot is, do we skin the fish or do we not? Right.
That's
And I personally think it's not necessary unless you want to have something on both sides, like the beet cured Gravlax, right? So it's pretty on both sides, but it's not necessary. But you don't skin your salmon, do you?
Well, we were talking about this the other day, and I kind of go back and forth. So yeah, it's up to you. I think one benefit of skinning, which Grace is going to demonstrate right now, is that you can take off this little layer of insulating fat, which we'll show you, and that really I think benefits the overall flavor of your Gravlax at the end of the day.
I agree.
And she'll show that. And you might have seen her rubbing her fingers across this beautiful tail.
you know your stuff.
So your tails, right, are gonna be a little better for Gravlax if you have them, but if you don't, no fear, right?
Yeah. And also checking for pin bones, because you really want to get your pin bones out before you start.
Right.
Because I don't feel any pin bones.
No,
Did you take them out?
No, that's the beauty of the tails. There's rarely anything in there. Yeah.
So the thing about having pin bones in Gravlax is that once you start slicing, you come across a bone. And it makes it really hard to slice. So you want to get rid of them first. So one of the ways that I like to, and I'm using an Opinel knife, and it's really super sharp.
These are such beautiful knives, you guys. Oh, no, I should tell you, we're going to give away a knife or two.
Yes.
So you guys stay tuned.
All right, so these knives are really super sharp, but I like to use a paper towel to grab the fish, cut into it a little bit and start separating it from the skin. So keep running your knife back and forth parallel to the cutting board, slicing back and forth, and hopefully I didn't lose too much.
It's not
terrible.
Beautiful.
It's okay.
I think that was great.
It's all right. I still have a little bit of that.
So the culinary director is a little hard on herself.
Yeah. Okay, so, but, I mean, look, if you look at it, most of the flesh has been intact, and you've got a little bit of the bloodline or the insulating fat on the bottom. So I like to trim the insulating fat, which I call the bloodline, right? You call that the bloodline too, right?
I do. The mudline or the bloodline, yeah.
So you can sort of just slice it back and forth and remove it. Now the thing is that you don't have to, but it's strong in flavor. So. Right.
Something you could cook and not really be bothered with, but in this raw preparation, it's,
And I don't think you really need to go crazy on it. Maybe cut along the line. God, this knife is really
It's
sharp,
so nice.
Right?
You guys
so
open
nice.
out. Yeah.
All right. So that's gone. We've got it.
Beautiful.
Ready to go, right?
It took you about a minute. Yep. So it's that quick to get it all prepped. And again, like Grace was saying, you can alternatively just leave your skin on, and if you want, you can make some slash marks too in the skin, and maybe infuse a little bit of that spice into the bottom.
Mm-hmm. What does that? Why don't you tell? What does that do when you do that?
So if you wanted to keep the skin on and not go through that process, you can make some slits here, 3 or 4 of them, and kind of speed up that curing process a little bit too. And we did that with one of these.
Right.
And you can kind of see if that. If you like 36 hours with some slits, or it's all just kind of
because the salt and the cure goes inside.
It's going to go inside from the top and the bottom, then a little bit, right? Without having to skin it.
Right. Okay, let me go wash my hands.
So let's see. We're going to do. I'll wipe that down for you.
Okay. let's do a classic. Why don't you do your classic?
Let's do the dill and
Yeah, the dill and
Perfect.
the juniper berry, right? Because that is super classic. Where is that? It's right here. Do you want to do that?
Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay.
Sure. There's a question here. You know what? Why don't I'll like bring questions
Okay.
in. Do you wanna
I'll
do
do it.
that part
Sure.
of it? Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So I'm going to use an intact piece of salmon. I'm actually going to make a little slit in there, like Richie was saying, because I think it's actually kind of pretty.
So Mark Stewart, great question. The advantage of not skinning the fish is that the oil, which is right next to the skin, is rich in omega-3 oil. Yeah, absolutely. Don't throw your skin away. So just because you skin it doesn't mean you have to get rid of it. Yeah, that insulating fat is packed with omega-3. It's very, very good for you. And the skin as well. So fry your skin up. I mean, you can, if you're making poke, you're making whatever it might be. Hi, my daughter's saying hi.
Did Mom come up here?
She did.
She's so
Looking for
cute.
Mom. So yeah, don't throw the skin away.
Yeah, I mean, you can also bake it, right?
Yes.
Sprinkle it with some salt, some brown sugar, a lot of pepper. Bake it between 2 sheets of parchment and a little extra baking sheet, and then it gets like bacon. Super good.
Salmon bacon. It's perfect.
Okay.
Bye.
Okay. Do you have a plate?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So the classic flavors for Gravlax are juniper berry and dill, right? Juniper berry, smell that. It's amazing, right? It's so good.
It's amazing.
It's like one of the classic flavors of gin, right? So if you were going to use a spirit, which is also
Yeah, we have
really
Aquavit,
super
yeah.
cool, you can brush your fish with a tiny bit. I'm gonna just use my hands.
Yes.
I'm just gonna use my hands because I'm that kind of a person. Take a little bit and then just rub it.
And so what's happening in this process when you're putting this spirit, this Aquavit on it?
You're adding a little, it's kind of like an accelerant, right? It makes it move a little bit faster, but it also infuses a lot of flavor. And it's so good. Aquavit, if you don't know, is a spirit that's infused with caraway, which is another classic Scandinavian flavoring, right? It's amazing. I'm using the classic juniper berry blend, right? So it's equal parts salt and sugar, and a quarter part juniper berry. So if you don't have this and you want to make it, just take like 1 ounce each of salt and pepper and a quarter ounce of juniper berry. Pop it in a spice grinder or a mortar and pestle, and that'll approximate what this is.
And then alternately, if you guys bought this in your box, you can stretch these out a little bit too.
Totally,
right?
totally.
So when you figured about two tail portions maybe per packet, you can maybe get by or something like that.
Yeah,
But you can
about
stretch
two.
it out with more salt and sugar if you
For
want.
sure.
Yeah.
And I think the good thing is that this is sort of a template, right?
Yes.
So
right.
like just figure out what your flavorings are.
It's a lattice. Grow. And Ben had a good question. He said, "Are there any ratios you should be following?" And this is what we're talking about, such as 5% ratios of salt and sugar. And and this is what we're kind of saying.
Yeah.
Is that
It's a good question. It's a personal preference. I mean, I know that there are. I think he's asking about ratio of fish to
so like
fish
20.
to,
They say about like 20 to 25% the weight of your fish should be your salt and sugar combined.
Right.
So
Right.
if that's what you mean, Ben.
But honestly, the flatter the piece of salmon, the faster it goes. So you can actually get away with a little bit less.
Right.
Right. So what I like to do is I like to use about like 2 tablespoons for the top side, so that it's really, really, really covered. Which is about a packet or a half a packet.
Yeah.
Right. And you can also spread some on the bottom of the plate. I mean, I tend to go a little bit lighter on the salt just because, the cure, because I feel like it's what's on top that, for me, that really counts. So that's a lot. I mean, that seems like a lot.
That's great.
And then one of the other classic flavorings is dill.
It's one of the most classic, right?
It is the classic, right?
Yeah.
So just some dill sprigs.
And while Grace is dressing that with dill, let's do.
Want to do a giveaway?
A little giveaway.
All right.
You guys want to do a giveaway? We're going to give away a couple things tonight. 2 sets of prizes. So the first one, we're going to do a beautiful Opinel knife. And this is really fun because this is like one of their classic foldable knives, but it's a nice long one, so it's a fillet knife. So this is going to go to somebody. Should we find out who's going to be? We'll do our little salmon roll, and the winner is Danielle Jones.
Nice.
Danielle Jones, if you're out there, this knife is yours. Congratulations.
It's really nice.
They're so fun to...
Can I touch it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, it's really nice. These knives are so sharp.
They are, and they're really well made. And Opinel is just a great partner that we've been having fun with over the last year.
Beautiful.
So Danielle, why don't you? We'll email you and then just respond back, and we'll make sure we get your address and everything. Okay. Congratulations.
Yay.
All right.
Awesome. So then to cover this, we'd want to make sure that if you have plastic, that's great. If you don't have plastic, place another plate on top, right? So that you don't necessarily need to weigh it down. I know some people like to weigh down their fish, but like a tail piece like this, if you weigh it down, it'll be like ½ an inch by the time the cure is ready.
That's such a good point. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So for a nice big center cut, of course, weigh it down. But for these little tail pieces, is that?
This is no.
Oh, wrong one.
Here we go.
So speaking of our fish species, right?
Yeah.
The box comes with kita and sockeye, which sockeye is like bold, smack you in the face salmon flavor, right? Kita is much more mild. Either work with this curing process, and the infusion of flavor for the kita, which is really mild, really punches up the flavor, right?
I agree with that.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that's a great combination. Yeah.
And then the sockeye is strong enough to actually hold up.
Right.
Right? Because it's very strong flavor.
Right.
That looks great.
So this one this has been 24 hours, which is kind of what we were saying, kind of standard, middle of the road, great place to start with your curing. And this is exactly what Grace just demonstrated. So 24 hours later, you're going to get this beautiful, the aroma of that dill. When you first
look
put
how
it
beautiful
on,
that is.
it's like...
I wonder if they can see it.
Here,
Can they see it?
let's
What
put
do I do
it, if you put it right over, put it on your head, and then raise it up just a little, there we go. Yeah.
If I hold it that way?
Yeah, you got it. You're perfect. We got it.
Can you see that? It's really beautiful. It's got this
so
really nice
nice
sort of translucent, there's a translucence to the fish, and that's the moisture being taken out, right? So it's, I don't know, it just gets this really nice
almost
texture.
Almost a candied look. I love it. It's really pretty.
Like if you look at ham, the difference between a piece of ham and a piece of pork, right? So there's that sort of soft, shiny translucence that you have in ham because it's a cured product that you don't have in pork.
I'll grab another one for a good idea here. There's a good question about if you need to keep the air out. So Sue Olson's wondering if you need to keep air out of this process.
Yeah, I don't. For several reasons, right? You want to make sure that the salt and the sugars, because they are humectants, they're taking moisture out of the environment, out of the atmosphere. You don't want them taking moisture out of the atmosphere in your fridge. You want it being taken out of the fish. So cover it tightly. You can wrap it. I know that when I was doing this certainly for catering, I would actually wrap the fillets tightly in plastic, right?
Right.
That would make it go super fast. But really just a nice non-reactive dish with a cover, whether it's a glass cover, plastic, whatever.
Yeah, right.
It's your own.
Non-metal for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Oh, see, feel this one?
Yeah, that's why I wanted to bring this out.
Yeah.
It's a lot firmer.
How long is that one?
And this one has been 36 hours.
Yeah.
And we also put a little citrus in it as well.
That looks
And
nice.
if you guys will notice, no skin, right? So you get a quicker curing process. That's what we were talking
True.
about, right?
Yeah. So should we start slicing, or do you want to? Okay.
Well, let's see. Why don't know? You could slice, and I could mix up one of the mustard creme.
Okay, sure.
Should I
Or
do
do you
that
want?
quick?
Yeah, sure. Do you want to do? Yeah, that's great.
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna show you a trick for making sure that your knife is nice and that you're gonna get decent slices.
And Lisa, you had a question. I
This
didn't
is
mean
not-
to take you off the screen there. But she asked. Lisa says, "So does the liquid pool while it's brining?"
Yes, it definitely does, and that's the moisture that comes out of the fish, and you can pour it off, or you can keep it in the dish. It's I don't think it makes that much of a difference. I know some people really like to pour it off. I don't think in 24 hours, 36 hours, I don't think it's really going to make that much of a difference.
Right. Yeah.
Right?
I think when you're pushing it past
Yeah.
that 48 and stuff, then you got to start draining it a little bit more. Yeah.
And also for the whole ease of this, it's just why spend more time opening the refrigerator?
Yeah.
Just set it,
Yeah.
forget it.
That's
right?
it's the beauty of the recipe. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna slice. All right,
Slicing 101, right?
slicing 101,
Okay.
right? Oh, let me use this.
Oh, yeah.
This carpaccio knife. One of the things about Gravlax, that's one of the sort of the pinnacle of good slicing, right? Is to be able to see the New York Times through.
Yeah.
That's for professionals. I can't do that. Can you do that?
Do that.
No, that's
No.
like that's like somebody at Barney Greengrass or Russ
and
and
if
Daughters,
someone
right?
tells you they can and they're not a professional chef, they're probably lying to you.
Yeah.
It's very difficult, so
It's-
don't beat yourself
yeah.
up.
And what's really nice is to be able to slice on a bias to get a little bit more surface area. If you can't do that, if it's if it's troublesome, you can just cut straight down, and
Right.
then slice your knife a little bit off to the side so that you're not cutting the skin. But I'm gonna slice on the bias. See if I can get it with this beautiful carpaccio knife. Now the reason I'm rubbing with lemon, the blade, is to sort of reduce the drag, right? You use a paper towel, right, Richie?
I use paper towel, or I'll actually just use water sometimes
Or water,
too.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But a wet paper, just to use moisture, right?
Yep, yep.
I just think having a little lemon juice is kind of cute, and
That's a
it
nice
adds a little flavor.
Right, absolutely.
So you might lose the first slice because you want to cut it on an angle. But then every time, give it a little bit of a swipe. And look,
Oh my gosh.
it's pretty nice, right? This knife is nice. And then when you get to the bottom,
look
what
at
you
that.
want to do is you want to angle it so that you're not slicing. You're not slicing through the skin because you don't want to eat the skin.
Right.
You definitely don't want
Right.
to eat the skin.
It's really
gross.
really important to not
Yeah.
cut through that. And again, if you're just beginning and you want to make it easy, it might be easier to skin before you cure. But again, just things to think about.
Yeah, these are really nice, and this knife is great because it's thin and sharp. And what you want is a flexible, thin-bladed knife, right?
Right.
Like it's like a fillet knife, but it's really just for slicing.
And you can probably see how kind of sticky and
Look at this.
how kind of sticky the knife gets from this cured. It's so look at that.
Look at that one.
I mean, you could
Can
read.
you read it?
You could read the.
Let's see if we can
the
read.
Baudet Times. To
No.
that. Look at that.
Close.
The Baudet Gazette. That's
What is that?
It's it's a little town up in. Anybody knows where Baudet from Minnesota? That's where my wife is from. Population 400.
Nice.
Yeah. This is so
Yeah.
beautiful.
I'm gonna do one more, and then I'm gonna slice. Honestly, I have to say, half the battle is a good knife,
Look at that.
right?
Yeah.
I wouldn't be able to get this
So
with
you
a
could
chef knife.
you could not do it with this. I think that's the point, right?
You could probably do it with
God, it's
this
so
fillet knife as well,
Right.
but the idea of using a carpaccio knife is really nice. This is also it's also used for serrano ham or prosciutto, anything that really needs super thin slices. Yeah, this is good, but it's not as good. Oh, yeah, it's not as good.
Yeah.
This carpaccio knife is
killer. You can get these, you guys,
Yeah.
at Opinel. So they have just, I think this is the only model of the carpaccio knife they have available right now. So it's great if you're making Gravlax.
Yep.
Yeah, Kay knows where Bidet is. Oh, good job, Kay. Thanks. Good shout out.
Okay, so we're done slicing.
Okay.
But, I mean, using just a gentle sawing motion, and then see as I'm getting down to the bottom, I'm sort of turning my knife parallel to the cutting board, and you'll see how thin it is over there. And once I keep going further and further back, you'll see that the skin is going to be completely empty and clean.
Perfect.
Super cool, right?
Awesome. Let's see.
Oh, let's see what this. Let's look at the texture of this.
Let's
one,
compare those.
right?
I think that's great. And then don't forget about this crowning jewel.
Oh, totally. Totally.
So you guys have probably seen these beets sitting here next to Grace, and like, what are we gonna do with beets? Well, we're gonna show you in just a moment.
Oh, see
Oh, look at how different that.
Totally different.
Here, can you hold it up to the? I'm gonna switch cameras, and they can see the difference.
Where am I
here.
gonna hold it?
Above the above camera there. No, not that one.
What?
Sorry. Here you go. There, that one. Yep. Yeah.
There it is.
There it is.
No, there it is. Come on. What am I like? There it is.
There we go. Oh. And this is the sockeye as well, I believe. Yeah. And you can see the red, but also
the texture is crazy. It's really super silky. I'm gonna do a couple more. It's really like the longer you cure it, the easier it is to slice. It's less delicate.
No doubt.
Less delicate, but like look at this. Compare this, right?
Right.
Look how
Look at that.
sexy and floppy this is, and this is a little bit firmer.
Yeah.
Right?
So so it's like, well, what's your preference, right? Like, what would you like? I like
look
that
how
a
thin
little
this is too, though, right?
Mm.
I don't know. I prefer a shorter cure. For me, the sweet spot is
So this is
24 hours.
This is double. This is 36 hours, but no skin. And I'll tell you, it's a little salty for me.
Yeah.
I think so. But I like the lemon in it. And that's what's so fun about it, is that you can just kind of like.
It's really good.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually really delicious. It is salty, but it's a delicious, bright, fresh flavor.
Right.
Again, we talked about some of the spices, but there's also fresh aromatics that you can use also. So lemon zest,
Yep.
orange zest. Orange zest is amazing, right? And if you do like tequila, you can actually do tequila and something smoky, like maybe a little bit of chipotle
I love that idea.
with your salt and sugar cure. That would be delicious with a little bit of lime zest.
Right.
It'd be good.
Were you just saying that
Yeah.
you don't drink tequila?
No, I
gets
don't.
too-
I don't.
You only use it for curing.
Okay. Shall we do the beet?
Yeah, let's do this
Okay.
beautiful.
How are we on
beet.
time? Do we need to add
We,
any more questions?
we have some time. So you guys,
Okay.
it's like we usually go to like 7:15, but we might go a little bit longer. You guys want to hang around? That's awesome. If you gotta go, that's cool too. We understand. But we're gonna probably go to about 7:20. We'll keep answering some questions here. It says, do you scrape the seasoning off? That's a good question. Super good question. Do you scrape the seasoning off before you serve?
I don't. Sometimes I
either.
do. Sometimes I don't. But
This is a good example. of
this is
maybe-
yes, exactly. Something like this. I don't know. I think it's just it adds so much.
I like the texture of that.
Yeah. I mean, it's a little intense around the edges. You can scrape it off if you want. It just means that when you're serving it, you can use a more mild, neutral flavored sauce, right?
Right. So here,
Yeah.
we'll do. So this is like a mustard, and creme fraiche and caper, and some brown sugar, and this is like
Ooh, that
a
looks
nice
good.
little
Is
compliment.
that for me?
That's for you.
That's gonna go all over the place. I'm gonna cut a little piece.
Perfect. Yeah, I'm gonna do the other piece then. That's great.
That's phenomenal. All right, Richie, why don't you tell them what's in this? Because it's so good.
This is on the website too. It's creme fraiche, English mustard, like a whole grain mustard, capers,
Wow.
white wine vinegar, and
Capers?
Capers.
Did you say
I
capers?
think I said capers.
Did you say, is there dill
Capers
in there?
and you could put dill. I think I forgot the dill.
Oh, it's not even, it's totally not necessary. It
You
is
can
so
put it if you
good.
want. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's really, really good.
It just complements
Yeah.
that salty, nice texture of the fish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to go super simple, just creme fraiche, right?
Right.
Creme fraiche, a little bit of freshly cracked pepper.
Or bagel and cream cheese.
Yeah, totally. Let's go to this super cool.
This is
beet
so fun.
one,
This
right?
this is a new recipe this year that Grace brought to Sick of Salmon Shares.
It's also super. It was really super popular on Instagram. I don't know.
Was it?
It's not my idea. I didn't invent it. It's just a beautiful, beautiful
It's so pretty.
thing.
It's so pretty.
So what this is, it's just when you see it sliced, you'll see. It's just beets. It's cured, right? It's got the salt and
Yeah, it's all the same
Spice here.
as
Yeah.
any of the other cures that we did. Yep.
But I pureed some cooked beets and some horseradish. It's sort of like a borscht, kind of like a borscht
Yeah.
Gravlax, right?
Yeah,
It's like
I love that.
smashing together these sort of two classics of Eastern Europe, right?
I love that.
Eastern North, yeah. So
And horseradish, you said that.
and
right?
horseradish, yeah. So I'm just gonna scrape this off. Oh man, how long did this cure? Was this for
This
24
was
hours?
24 hours. Yep.
Okay,
Yep.
good. And did you do the bottom as well?
We did.
Okay, so my fingers are gonna get really, really
Yeah.
red. Okay, so whoa, look how beautiful this is. So you sprinkle the fish with the cure, and then you pack it on both
so
sides
pretty.
with this beet horseradish mixture. Now you can throw it in the food processor, or you can grate it, right?
Right.
What I like to do is either use a paper towel to hold the beet to keep my hands from getting stained, or just hold the beet with the plastic bag.
Mm-hmm.
Just grate it.
Yeah, so it doesn't have to be a really smooth puree.
No.
It can just be a kind of a rough.
Yep.
You're looking for the coloring, right?
Yeah, you're just looking to release some of the liquid and also just to be able to spread it
Right.
evenly across. You get the idea, right? I don't need to do that.
How
But
long?
you get the idea.
Let's see. Oh, this is a great question. This is a really great question from Reina. How long does it last after it's cured?
Great question. That is a great question. So remember we talked about the salt and the sugar acting as a humectant,
Mhm.
pulling out, and through osmosis pulling out the liquid. That acts as an inhibitor for microbial or bacterial growth, but only up to a point. Because if we let this go until it was like jerky, right? That would be one thing. But this is a light cure. This is a 24-hour, 36-hour cure. So it's not going to remove any possibility of contamination. So it's good for about 4 days, 4 to 5 days, I would say.
I don't think it will last that long.
I don't think it would last that
Generally,
long either.
yeah.
Right.
Especially small pieces like this, you guys are gonna eat this in a day.
Right, but if
That's
you're
it,
doing,
yeah.
if you're doing a bunch
Yeah.
and you have leftover stuff, there's plenty of great things that you can do with leftover Gravlax. You don't have to serve it on crackers or on bagel or on like pumpernickel or like the Danish bread.
Yes.
Oh, that's so good.
Yes.
What I like to do is fold it into pasta, right?
Oh,
Like
yeah,
if you're doing
right.
like a creamy fettuccine or
Mhm.
a pasta with sort of cream and shallots and some leeks or something, just throw in some of your sliced Gravlax and it'll just elevate the whole dish. It's so delicious. No cheese,
Right,
but
right.
but just
Great.
cream.
Is your show done already?
Not yet, huh?
Yes. Do you want to come say
You
hi?
just started?
No.
No.
We're wrapping up, right,
Come
everyone?
say
Wanna
hi.
say hi?
Come over here. You can be my
What do you
assistant.
wrap up? What do you mean wrap
Like
up?
we're
Finish.
winding down the old show. You want to come say hi?
I know what you mean.
Okay. I don't know how to describe it any differently.
Do you want to see something? Do you want to see something really cool? It's okay. So we're gonna slice this. We're gonna slice this beet cured Gravlax. My fingers are gonna be nice and red, but that's fine.
Oh, we lost the camera here. Sorry,
Oh,
we
got
lost
it.
we lost the camera, so we're gonna. There we go. I think.
Are we good?
I think we can get it still. Oh my goodness.
Uh oh.
Stand by, everyone.
Oh. I think we have one camera.
You guys still have? We have one camera left. Hold on, guys.
Can I talk to him in the bedroom?
Just the fact that we even have a temperate rainforest in Alaska is not a thing that people normally think
Do you know if we
about
have
when they think
audio?
about Alaska.
I have a technical.
This is one of the largest intact
Oh, okay.
temperate rainforests in the world.
I'm gonna go scrape this.
Yeah, well, I'm a commercial salmon troller. The Tongass Forest is basically all of southeast Alaska, the whole panhandle.
Oh, are we back?
Hey guys, can you hear us again? Sorry about that.
It wouldn't be a day in.
Hey there. Okay.
We're good? Sorry.
We're good. Our coloring's a little off, but we'll work through this. Sorry, guys. Okay. Look at this beautiful.
Yay! Talk about color, right?
Oh, right. Gosh. Okay.
It would not be a day in Wild in the Galley if
Oh,
we didn't have
goodness.
some sort of
It's
a
wild
technical
always.
thing.
Okay.
All right,
Look at
but
this.
look at this. I'm gonna scrape off some of this just so that we see how beautiful it is. So the benefit of this one is that if you skin it on both sides and you give it a really nice cure for 24 hours, you have a beautiful color on both sides, right?
It's like
And
a
the inside-
perfectly cooked prime rib. It's so beautiful.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, look at
Here.
that. Hold that up.
Look at this. Look at the color on that.
This
Wouldn't
is
this
gorgeous.
be good with?
This is gorgeous,
Yeah,
right?
it's really
really
fun.
gorgeous.
And you know what? That flavor, because you get a little horseradish that you put in that, is really fun. It's really fun. Wow.
You know, another thing that I like to do is use potato pancakes.
Oh yeah.
That's a really great cocktail, like a cocktail hors d'oeuvre,
Sure.
right? So these little mini crispy potato cakes.
Yeah.
Put a little creme fraiche and some of this Gravlax on. Any Gravlax, really. It just would be
Forget about it.
perfect. Look how beautiful that is. Isn't that nice?
You guys, it's so nice that it makes me want to give something away.
Mmm.
Okay, let's give away before we lose cameras again, and we'll probably be
Wow.
saying goodbye here, guys, pretty quickly. We're gonna give away this really nice combination. So it's gonna be, we're gonna give away a box of our salmon,
Nice.
our fish. I'm not sure if it's gonna be salmon. It's gonna be some sort of delicious fish from us, and then a fillet knife from Opinel. So let's see who won. Who won? Raina, you asked a question too. Raina Durham. Congratulations, Raina Durham. You win. So we'll be sending an email out. Your name will be in it, and just respond back to us, back to John Clark. He'll have his email in there, and we'll get you your box of fish from us, from our small boat fishermen. Oh my God, thank you.
Little chives. I'm going to put some chives on there.
Oh yeah, please do. So again, small boat fishermen are going to be catching this fish for you, Raina, and that's what we do at Sick of Salmon Shares. We connect our members to their fish. We bring this really great community together. How dyed are your fingers going to be for?
Not so bad.
Oh, not too bad. Yeah. And it's just a beautiful, mutualistic, symbiotic relationship where you actually know where the heck your fish comes from, and it tastes better when you know where it comes from. It's more fun to cook with, and we have this really live, vibrant community that shares recipes and tips and tricks and love and just community and just everything that food is supposed to do.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Feeds everything.
So we're gonna. If you guys have any last questions here, I think. Thank you. Cheers.
Cheers. Mmm. This one's so good.
Mmm.
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 Thank you guys for joining us.
Thank you guys.
Ah.
If you have more questions, you can drop them in cooking class at sickofsalmonshares.com.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to know more about this particular recipe or any of the Gravlax, just go to sickosalmonshows.com as well. It's all there.
All there, it's all good.
We finally got to do class together.
I know, right? This is awesome.
so fun.
It's like
We don't-
8 months of virtual virtual meetings.
You guys have probably experienced that as well. We haven't met in 8 months of working together.
It's awesome.
We don't know what we're gonna do next. I'm sure we're gonna figure it out.
Let us know.
Yeah,
Tell us
what do
tell
you
us
guys
what you
wanna
want to
do?
see. I'm gonna come out every time.
Yeah,
I'm coming here all the time.
We'll
He's gonna,
whip up some more. Yeah, my kitchen is always open. Always open. You guys, cooking should be fun. If it's not fun, you might be doing something wrong. That's what we're here to
Totally.
help. So thanks for joining us. Again, thanks for your support out there, members and non-members. If you're interested in learning more, sickosalmonshows.com is where to go. Thank you to Opinel. You guys provide us with these great knives, and if you need knives, they're the place to go. And then thanks also to LeMaster Family
Kitchen.
Spices. Yeah.
Yeah.
Family Kitchen. Family
Yeah.
Kitchen. Yeah.
Awesome.
All right, you guys, that's it from us. We'll talk to you later. How about
See you
that?
soon. I'm gonna finish drinking. This is so good. This combination is.